When we first started thinking about this project, we had to incorporate ZipCar's business model into Singapore's context. But ZipCar's business model is not feasible or sustainable in Singapore. The need to own a substantial fleet of vehicles is undone by the high COE prices. With traffic congestion being so pervasive in Singapore, it's faster to commute by public transport. Lastly, adding more vehicles into this urban jungle of ours is not going to help the idea of sustainability. Therefore, we believe that adopting the business model of iCarsClub is more practical and environmentally sustainable in Singapore. How this works is that the car owners whom have vehicles to rent will come to Zapcar, the data will be stored in our database and be made available to those who want to rent. We will then transmit the data from our system to their card reader. The renters would locate the card available and use it using their personalized card reader. So essentially, every car owner is his own rental shop, and Zapcar provides the necessary technological infrastructure to facilitate this handling and taking over of vehicles. How this works is that every user will be given a unique car key, which will be used to unlock the car door. The key card will be inserted into the Zapcar box to pull out the car keys. The Zapcar box is a device that records mileage and contains the car keys. Zapcar also provides customers with a patrol beep, which allows patrol attendants to charge Zapcars for any patrol costs incurred by the consumers. Zapcar aims to differentiate itself from existing car sharing companies by providing more robust and competitive pricing, greater customer service, and last-minute bookings from as early as 15 minutes to 2 months. Essentially, we aim to position Zapcar as a high-value, low-cost business in the market. This would appeal to our target segment, the university students and young working professionals, as Zapcar is able to provide them with greater value deals and convenience with vehicles located across the island. Zapcar aims to announce itself mainly through viral marketing and by the word of mouth, with secondary focus placed on advertisements.
We will allocate our investments to 2 specific projects. Our first project is to persuade car owners to adopt car sharing. The investment requirement for this would be advertising costs. To spread the word and persuade consumers, we plan to persuade them by stressing on the amount of passive income that they would earn if they adopt car sharing, since they would be able to get 80% commission from the car rental fee should the car be rented out. Our second project is to build a robust IT infrastructure that consists of a mobile app, RFID devices, and a reliable database that maintains our clientele and network. The comprehensive app increases our efficiency of car booking by allowing users to reserve cars on the go instead of having to rely on computers which are less convenient. The estimated investment requirement for a robust IT infrastructure is huge. Based on research, each car would be equipped with approximately $100 worth of RFID technology, which includes a mileage tracker. The high investment costs of IT infrastructure, app developers, and IT-savvy employees will be further discussed later. Following an interview with iCarsClub last week, we learned that they rent out around 130 cars per day and have a flexible pricing scheme. Based on information gathered from the interview last week, we have come up with our own pricing model as shown and project a usage of 40 cars a day. To calculate our sales targets and projected net profit, we assume that every day, 40 economy cars will be rented out at $75 per day under the full day scheme. Let me now bring you through our sales targets for the first 3 years of operation. Based on the earlier projections, we expect to earn $3,000 a day and $1.095 million per year. 80% of this amount will be distributed to car owners, leaving us with $219,000 in revenue for the first year. Let us now consider the operating expenses incurred during the first year. Firstly, we project manpower expenses to be $100,000 annually. Secondly, we project a one-time off expenditure of $200,000 on IT infrastructure such as servers and cooling machines. Thirdly, we project an advertising cost of $30,000 annually. This amount may seem small because we intend to advertise using social media and viral marketing and through word of mouth. We estimate a cost of $15,000 for car modification, which involves the installation of RFID readers and ZipCar boxes in cars. Total expenses for the first year is a high $345,000. However, as seen from the 3-year sales targets, We estimate that we will break even by the second half of the third year and begin to recognize profits. This is under the assumption that the number of cars rented out per day is still 40 and there is no growth in that number. Assuming we have a 5% growth in revenue, we will project that we break even earlier, and we will break even in the middle of the second year and begin to recognize profits.
Considering these facts and figures, what's in it for Zapcar stakeholders? These include the car renters, who have the ability to drive a different car every day without having to pay for high COE charges, and the car owners, who stand to earn up to $1,000 monthly. The benefits that both renters and owners enjoy is precisely why we believe that this system will be successful. But what about Zapcar and their shareholders? If you recall earlier, the operating expenses show that Zapcar has a relatively high fixed cost, but a relatively low variable one. With only a virtual fleet of cars, the potential for expansion is limitless. At the same time, Zapcar will also have almost zero additional cost. This means that the profit margin of this business can only grow. By introducing this service, Zapcar will not only be promoting a sharing culture in Singapore, but also create a positive impact on the environment by reducing the overall number of cars on the road as more people subscribe to car sharing instead. This ties in with the government's interest, and they will view Zapcar as environmentally friendly and sustainable. Now, moving on to some risks involved in this project. Some potential risks to the renters would be that the car they rented might have some technical issues, and this would increase the risks of getting into an accident. The owners, on the other hand, risk their cars being crashed by unsafe renters. That is why Zapcar insists on having a stringent screening process for all their renters and owners to mitigate this risk for collisions. For Zapcar's firms and shareholders, some potential risks would be that due to the high fixed startup costs, if for some reason the business model doesn't take off as smoothly as predicted, Zapcar might be faced with high levels of debt. With competition from other car rental companies like iCarsClub or ZipCar, it might be even more difficult to penetrate into this market. However, we believe that not only does Zapcar offer a better deal than other car rental companies out there, it is also the right time for Singapore market for such a service given the high COE prices and the increasing demand for efficient means of transportation. Although it might seem as though car sharing encourages the use of cars and hence has a very large carbon footprint, it is actually quite the opposite. We've calculated Zapcar's carbon footprint for the first year to be roughly 200 metric tons. This includes the cars on the roads as well as the running costs of the office. However, according to a study by The Economist, one shared car can potentially reduce car ownership by up to 15 people, which constitutes significant reductions in our carbon footprint. Now, with regards to our future expansion plans, once the profits start coming in, a phone app to lock and unlock the cars can be incorporated into the IT infrastructure to enhance value addedness to your company, as customers feel more connected and accessibility increases. By 2016, our company could look into the city host model. This model is one where Zapcars will start to purchase their own cars, lease them out to host strategic locations of Singapore. These hosts will then maintain the car, pay for parking, and act as an on-site promoter for our services. They will benefit by having a specified amount of free booking times for their cars as well as priority in booking. By 2018, Zapcars will be looking into purchasing their own fleet of hybrid and electric cars to be stationed within a charging facility. Renters will be able to rent these cars at a cheaper price. This is our step in establishing an even greener practice, maintaining our image as a green initiative. Lastly, Zapcars will seek to venture overseas into markets such as Shanghai and Hong Kong, where the market is somewhat similar and equally viable, to look into promoting their business there.